Music for the people. Okay, cool. Not a problem. I'm sure I'll be able to navigate the chats with no issue. Alright, so, okay, I'm just gonna have some fun and play some stuff, and when I see that it's 3 o'clock, we'll get started. I'm glad this is actually working this time. Thanks for being patient with me, guys. What else do I want to play here? Let's see if we can. Get real. You know what? Actually, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Some Michael every once in a while, some human nature. We got it. We're only 20 seconds. All right, cool. Nice. All right. So hello everybody, my name is Thavius Beck, and I'm going to be teaching you guys how to use Ableton Push. Let me go ahead and stop this really fast. All right. So it just turned 3 o'clock on the East Coast. I'm actually broadcasting from Brooklyn in my lovely basement studio. Wherever you may be in the world, thank you for joining us. And like I said, today I'm going to be teaching you how I use Ableton Push 2. For those of you that aren't familiar with Ableton Push, this is actually the second version of the device, and this is a controller that's made by Ableton Live to give you the most complete control over Ableton Live, the software. Now, there's a lot of different ways Push can be used. There's a lot of very thoughtful features that have been incorporated into Push to make it work very closely with Ableton, but there's certain things that I personally want to be able to do with Live that aren't necessarily automatically configured with Push. So I'm going to be walking you through some different sort of outside the box techniques for using Push, primarily for live performance. Before I get to that though, I just want to explain what we're looking at here. So if you look at my main screen, I got Ableton Live up and running. Let me go ahead and stop this. Oh, and also before I go on, I want to point out that we do have a chat window that's open. The chat window is actually on a monitor off to the side. So if you see me looking off, I'm probably checking the chat window. If I don't answer your question immediately, just give me a second and I'll refer to the chat window and I'll get right back at you. So, all right, with that said, what we're looking at right now, if we look at Ableton Live, and let me go ahead and just change my display so we're just looking at Ableton. There we go. This is one example of a live set that I might whip up and perform with. If I'm doing a solo show set, typically I like to perform with my music as if I'm a DJ. And I've got audio tracks set up here. There's 4 different audio tracks. Each one's named Deck A, B, C, and D. And these would function like different turntables or different CDJs that would allow me to play full-on songs and beats that I produced and made myself. And I do this with Ableton Live because with Ableton Live, we have the built-in time stretching, the ability to warp the audio. So everything's going to play in sync with my master tempo, and everything will start at the beginning of a bar. So this way, I can just focus more on performing and not so much on trying to beat match. But before I even get to this, we should sort of talk about how we can get to this point, because again, all this music I've made in Ableton Live, there's numerous beats here. And if I scroll through, this is just, again, one example of a show set. And this one doesn't really have as much content as I would normally use. So let's step back a bit. I'm going to go ahead and open up a new set. And I'll talk about some basic production techniques with Push. And then from there, we're going to go into setting up a live show set, being able to MIDI map it in some creative ways, and using the user mode on Push to allow us to do things that we can't easily do with all the different default modes. With this setup, let me go ahead and go back to my other screen here so you guys can see me and Push and Live.